The hot-button issue of crime playing out in the tight race for New York governor. Republican Lee Zeldin making it a central part of his campaign against incumbent Democrat Kathy Hochul, who strongly denies that crime is a problem. Mark Penn, former Clinton pollster and advisor, now chairman and CEO of Stagwell, and a Fox News contributor. It's great to have you here. You wrote a piece in which you said why a pro-Trump conservative might win New York governor's race. Is crime the main issue?
Yes, absolutely. Crime is the #1 issue in New York State. And this horrific murder in which someone beats her first and then is let out on the street, this could be the incident close enough to the election, clear enough in its relation to the bail laws, and clear enough, by the way, in Hochul's opposition to giving judges what about 70% of New Yorkers want, the discretion to take people who are a threat to the community off the streets. Wow, this really could be it. It had already been mounting week after week as the polls tightened here to single digits.
Jason Riley writes in the Wall Street Journal, Lee Zeldin's New York Republicans party like it's 1994. Let's talk about that, Mark. It's 28 years, right? And many people are now trying to draw similarities between this race now and what we saw that year. Explain.
Well, look, in that particular era, crime was the #1 issue. New York wasn't safe. You may remember that it was actually President Joe Biden around that time that put together the crime bill after the '94 elections, and that our spots for Bill Clinton featured police endorsements and measures to crack down on crime. And you're seeing, you know, I always say history does repeat itself over and over again. And we're seeing here that the policies that led to the crime in the 90s are being repeated now. I think they're even more extreme. And the truth of the matter is New Yorkers don't support these policies. But will they be the #1 issue in this election that is so powerful to overcome a 23-point Democratic edge? That is a stretch. Zeldin has run a smart campaign, and Hochul, rather than giving straight answers that might split her coalition, has said, oh, let's talk about this after the election. I don't think that was a very strong answer or a wise one.
Right. Yeah. Why wait till January? Like, let's just start having this conversation now. I mean, people are going to have this conversation. They already are if they voted early. But somebody else who repeats herself is Hillary Clinton. She had the deplorables comment back in 2016. She just said this yesterday as well. Watch.
I'm not sure they really understand the threats to their way of life. They may think that whoever's chairing a committee is, kind of abstract. But the Republicans in the House and others, like the chair of the Republican Senate Campaign Committee, are on record saying that they are going to put Social Security and Medicare up for a vote.
It's a similar theme, although she might disagree. But when she says, I'm not sure they understand the threats to their way of life, meaning that the voters are the ones who are not informed.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a condescending comment. You know, my whole career actually in polling is based on a V.O. Key book that said the simple thesis of this book is that the voters are not fools. And voters have zeroed in here on inflation, immigration, and crime as issues affecting their daily lives that they want answers from politicians on how they're going to fix them. So I wouldn't, talk down or underestimate, the voters. Sometimes they are misinformed. It's interesting. I ran a question recently. How many people do you think got out of federal jail because of Joe Biden's pardon of marijuana charges? And most people thought it was thousands. The actual answer was zero. There wasn't a single person let out because of that change, because there was no one there just for that charge. So there are some issues on which voters are misled. They really have some direct, everyday kitchen table issues confronting them, and they want those solved.
Mark Penn, thank you. Very interesting.
Thank you.
We'll see what we get. Thank you, sir, for coming back today.